There they go. Just look at the map where those drone swarms are headed. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy has unleashed yet another drone swarm, this time targeting the Black Sea. Over 20 Russian vessels destroyed in the Black Sea, and this follows dozens and dozens of Russian vessels destroyed in the Sea of Azov, which was previously targeted. And by the way, Ukraine continues to hit ships in the Sea of Azov, but Russia's basically shut down tankers going there because of the Ukrainian drone swarms. We'll get to that in just a moment. Look at this massive fireball rising over the Russian oil depot near Stavropol after an overnight strike right here by Zelenskyy. Take a look at this oil depot. It's actually in the Milkovsk area near Stavropol. Take a look. I'm just going to show you this video right here. Let me just show you what some of these Ukrainian drones look like. Like, this is the Ukrainian drone that looks like a copy of the Iranian Shahed drone that Russia has been using against Ukraine. Now, this kind of Shahed style Ukrainian drone, if you will, is on its way to attack Russia's Engels bomber airbase earlier in the morning. Let's play this clip. Here's another video of that. Let's play it. More from Engels. Here's a photo. Shout out Max26. The great work that Max does. In Engels, Saratov region, you can see the Engels Air Base under attack right there. I want to go back to where I started, though. The Ukrainian drone swarms in the Black Sea after successfully targeting all those Russian tankers in the Sea of Azov. Just so, let's pull up a map just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm a visual learner right here. You see where the Sea of Azov is right there between Ukraine and Russia. You see Crimea, which was taken over by Russia and annexed more than 10 years ago, 12 years ago to be precise. You see the Black Sea right over there. Now, Ukraine was pretty much directing its drone swarms in the Sea of Azov. Now, the Black Sea. Let's take a look at some of this footage because these drone swarms are striking hard. And as I noted, in the Black Sea, 20 ships, we're talking about 17 Russian oil tankers, 2 gas carriers, and 1 tug. So in terms of all of the vessels that have been destroyed by Ukraine in July alone, we're talking about 136 Russian vessels as I play this B-roll for you right here. This is in the Black Sea. 116 in the Sea of Azov from, pretty much early to mid-July. And then more in the Black Sea right there, July 15th, July 16th, today, yesterday. Let's take a look right here in the Sea of Azov. Pull up this footage right here. Ukrainian attack drones hit another 15 vessels in the Sea of Azov over there. I'll share with you this video showing one of the Russian vessels attacked by the Ukrainian strike drones burning in the Sea of Azov right there. Russian ship in the Sea of Azov smokes heavily after encountering with the Ukrainian strike drone. Shout out Special Care Sean Cat. Foreign sailors filming several Russian vessels burning in the Sea of Azov after a series of Ukrainian drone strikes. Let me show you what it looks like when those Ukrainian drones are a-buzzing. I showed you one that almost looks like it's spoofing the Iranian Shahed that Russia uses, but this right here is the FP1 drone. Remember, Ukraine uses FP1 long range, FP2, those FP5s are more the ballistic, frequently called flamingos. Here's the FP1 drone striking the Russian port of Azov, the Rostov Oblast. Let's take a look.
Summer is the season where I actually want to feel good, not just look good. And one simple thing that I've kept in my morning routine all summer is Manakora honey. If you've never tried real Manuka honey, it's honestly in a category all its own. Manakora is rich, creamy, and genuinely some of the best tasting honey that I have ever had. I usually take a heaped teaspoon straight off the spoon in the morning, but it's also great stirred into iced coffee, blend it into a smoothie, or added to yogurt with fresh fruit instead of processed sweeteners. What makes it different is that it's ethically produced by master beekeepers in the remote forests of New Zealand, where the bees collect nectar from the Manuka tea tree. That gives it 3 times more antioxidants and prebiotics than regular honey to help support your cells and your gut, where most of your immune system actually lives. It also naturally contains MGO, a rare antibacterial compound that sets Manuka honey apart from any other kind of honey. Now it's easier than ever to try Manakora honey. Head to manakora.com/Meidas to save up to 31% plus $25 worth of free gifts with the starter kit, which comes with an MGO 850 plus Manuka honey jar, 5 honey travel sticks, a wooden spoon, and a guidebook. That's manakora.com/Meidas to save 31% plus $25 worth of free gifts. manukora.com/MEIDAS.
Wow, I'll show you over here. Russia's Salavat oil refinery continuing to heavily burn earlier in this morning after Ukrainian strikes. Look at some of the local residents over there in Stavropol in front of the burning Russian oil depot. Take a look right here. Russia's Fipsky oil refinery in Krasnodar Krai was also attacked overnight about 380 kilometers from the front. This plant is one of the largest refineries in southern Russia, with annual processing capacity of about 6.25 million tons. And we've been seeing lots of refineries like this with massive capacity being incapacitated. I mean, again, let's take a look right here. I showed you more footage of the Russian Salavat oil refinery following the attacks. You see it right there. Take a look as this is another angle. 1,500 kilometers we're talking about to the Salavat oil refinery. Those Ukrainian drones I showed you successfully penetrating over 1,500 kilometers of Russian airspace to hit Salavat oil refinery in Bashkortostan. Seen here, the refinery complex burning in the morning, and then I'll play you some footage of it burning in the morning. Let's play this clip right here. Also, last week, Ukrainian forces conducted play the B-roll right here. Ukrainian forces conducted a completely unmanned, you see it, amphibious landing on the Kinburn Spit. The first of its kind seen here, a Ukrainian drone landing craft drops off a UGV to attack Russian positions along the beach. All aspects of this unmanned. The unmanned drone ship, the unmanned, mini tanker basically, mini tank that's out there firing on these Russian positions. And, Zelensky's been talking about these weapons. He's been in France recently. But here's what Zelensky's been saying. I'll play this clip. This is what he said at the Ukraine Southeast Europe Summit about how Ukraine and Europe need to make sure Ukraine is Europe, Europe is Ukraine, and Europe needs to defend itself. Can't rely on the U.S. Here, play this clip.
Many nations are interested in security cooperation with Ukraine, and we are ready as equal partners and in a way that benefits both sides to help our partners strengthen their security at sea, in the air, and on land. And I'm grateful to you for your readiness to continue supporting our fight for independence. I deeply value our joint work bilaterally through formats such as the Coalition of the Willing and through other multilateral formats. And there are several key tasks in front of us. First of all, we must bring European capabilities together as much as possible. Europe must be able to defend itself, and this is also a strategic goal, I think, of us, of Europe, of the United States, which they speak about quite openly. Our drone deals format can be very useful in achieving this goal. Second, we must achieve more in the practical protection of our way of life in every area. Let us coordinate more and do more bilaterally, including to counter Russia's attempts to destabilize our countries by the multitude of means. Third, we can all see the political consequences that the cost of living crisis can have if we do not act effectively enough. Security, stability, and stronger ties with a wider range of partners are the way to protect people in every sense. And fourth, please let us act together, speak with one voice, and coordinate all diplomatic steps and that Europe can take to bring this war to an end. This is crucial. This is difficult. I hope that we will a little bit later speak about this with more details. And fifth, no less important than the other points, I ask all of you to support every form of sanctions against Russia for this war. Russia must not be given relief or time to adapt to the pressure imposed because of its war. And Russia must remember that this is its war and that it must end its war. The 21st sanctions package is now on the table. Please support this package. Do not allow Russia to bypass sanctions. We must focus especially on hitting Putin's sources of money and Russia's energy exports. Money is what drives Putin's ambitions, and peace will come closer when pressure cuts Russian revenues off as much as possible. This matters. And I thank everyone who supports this kind of pressure and everyone who is doing everything possible to help us protect lives here and now from Russian strikes. Thank you very much, partners, for the visit. And thank you to everybody who is with us always and who is first time in Kyiv. You're very welcome. And so thank you very much.
Then President Zelenskyy issued the following message as well. For the first time, Ukraine is developing its own ballistic missiles and deep strike capabilities. These are not merely systems under development, but real capabilities that are already operational and reaching distances that were previously unattainable. 2,884 kilometers from the front. That is the distance from here to the Omsk oil refinery. A historic range, historic precision, and unlike Russia, which wages war against residential buildings, schools, and churches, Zelenskyy says Ukraine strikes the sponsors of Putin's war and the tools that help him kill. Some say that with modern technology, we are sending Russia back to the Middle Ages. Others recall Napoleon and the days when Moscow was ablaze. But for Ukraine, it is not grand rhetoric that matters. It is the result. Our ultimate goal is not Russia without gasoline, but Ukraine without Russia, Ukraine without war, Ukraine with Europe, and Ukraine and Europe without the threat of Moscow. Powerful words from Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy goes on to say, we are building a state that has enough strength and self-respect to do both at once, preserve its heritage and pursue ambitious plans. A Ukraine that values its past and believes in its own future. A state that is not afraid of the phrase, for the first time, and that for the first time is doing what until recently could only have been a dream. For the first time, Ukraine and Europe will build an anti-ballistic shield together. A historic project in which Ukraine is not an observer, but one of the leaders, bringing together countries and Europe's strongest defense companies. We will do everything necessary to build Europe's anti-ballistic system by integrating all European anti-ballistic capabilities so that the skies over our nations are protected, so that dictators cannot dictate how free people in Europe should live, so that the lives of people in Ukraine and in every European country do not depend on whether Putin and those like him have ballistic missiles or not. And those like him doing a lot of work right there. Donald Trump. Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you.
Breaking news right now, my brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.